दोस्तों, welcome to the new lecture in the lecture series Seekho Punjab. We have been discussing economy of Punjab. Today, we are going to discuss industry of Punjab. I am Dr. Mohit Garg, an IPS officer. In today's lecture, we will be covering the following topics: Economic Survey of Punjab 2017-18, the latest survey. We will be covering the following topics: institutional setup, Industrial and Business Development Policy 2017, current statistics, and various government initiatives to promote the industry in Punjab. Also, the budget has come, so the Punjab budget 2018-19, we will be discussing the provisions related to the industry. Now, coming to the institutional setup. To promote the industry in Punjab, we are already having four major institutions: Punjab Agroindustries Corporation Limited, Punjab Infotech, Startup Cell in Punjab Infotech, Punjab Small Industries and Export Corporation Limited. So now we will be discussing the first institution, the Punjab Agro Industries Corporation Limited, PAIC. As the name suggests, the Punjab, it means that it's an organization, premier organization of Punjab government. Agro Industries, the corporation is to promote the and facilitate the agro industries in Punjab. The agro-based industries include agro processing, dairy processing, poultry processing, agro residue processing, food and horticulture processing, agrochemical manufacturing, etc. Now, this is a nodal agency to facilitate investment in the agriculture sector. Then it also promotes investment in the mega project scheme announced as a part of Industrial Policy 2009. This is a state government initiative. Under this scheme, the various mega food parks are being established, and one is now under establishment at Ludhiana, and it is expected to be commissioned in February 2019. So this was the Punjab Agro Industries Corporation Limited. Now coming to the next organization, next setup institution, which is Punjab Infotech. Punjab Infotech is a corporation. Basically, it is promoting the various long-term and short-term courses in Punjab and Himachal Pradesh. It commenced training in IT in 1988. IT, you can depict from Infotech, under the name Kelsey. And Kelsey franchisee scheme was introduced in 1998. As of now, 100 plus Kelsey authorized franchisee centers are running, not only in Punjab but also in Himachal Pradesh. Now coming to the next institution, Startup Cell in Punjab Infotech. Punjab Infotech we just discussed. Startup Cell has been established. Basically, when in 2017, new industrial and business development policy came. To accomplish the aims of this policy, government further launched a new policy called the Startup and Entrepreneurship Development Policy 2017. As at the center, we are having Startup India and Stand Up India program. So, under this policy, we got Startup Punjab. And to accomplish the aims, a startup cell was established in Punjab Infotech to provide necessary secretarial and technical support to the Startup Coordination Committee. So this startup cell is acting as a single portal for startups in Punjab. It is disseminating all the necessary information. Its role is to highlight, amalgamate, and disseminate the resources, funding mechanisms, investments, incentives available at a single point. So it is in a way coordinating with all the departments on behalf of startups. So this is a very good initiative. In the budget also, it has been in the budget speech also it has been mentioned. So now coming to the next institution, which is the fourth institution in our discussion, it is Punjab Small Industries and Export Corporation Limited. So, as the name suggests, it's a it's for the export promotion. So, this institution PSIEC is a nodal agency for the promotion of exports, and also it is a nominated agency for the implementation of central government scheme named ASIDE. ASIDE is Assistance to State for Developing Export Infrastructure and Allied Activities. So this agency of the state is here to promote the exports. Recently, we have also established a high-tech cycle valley, and in this valley, we are going to provide the state-of-the-art infrastructure. So basically, these all initiatives will help us in promoting our exports. Further, state is also going to develop a modern focal point at Nabha, and this is being developed under the Government of India's scheme named Modified Industrial Infrastructure Upgradation Scheme. And lastly, under the aegis of this agency, state government has got approved four projects under the Government of India scheme named Integrated Infrastructure Development Scheme. So now we have been talking about these central schemes, but we must know a little bit about them also. First was we discussed ASIDE. Its full form is Assistance to State for Developing Export Infrastructure and Allied Activities. Basically, this scheme came in 2002, and as the name suggests, it was there to promote the exports. But the fundamental theme behind this was that the states should also be taken on board. This scheme was to provide incentives to the state so that the exports of the whole of the country may be promoted. This scheme came into existence by amalgamating four previous existing mechanisms. Like we must have heard about export promoting zones. Similarly, these were four earlier existing schemes, and these were amalgamated, and ASIDE came into existence. But recently, in 2015, if I remember correctly, this scheme was discontinued, and in 2017 budget, a new scheme was introduced to promote the exports. Another scheme which we discussed is Modified Industrial Infrastructure Upgradation Scheme. As the name suggests, it's a modified version of the original scheme. This scheme, the modified scheme, came into existence in 2013. This scheme, as the name suggests, it's for the upgradation of the industrial infrastructure. Basically, there are some pockets which are already competent. So, to promote them further, to develop a basic infrastructure there further, to upgrade the infrastructure, the incentives were there in this scheme. Now, the third scheme which was mentioned here was the Integrated Infrastructure Development Scheme. So this scheme is there for basically for the tiny and village level industries, small and tiny village enterprises, and this scheme came into existence in 1994. This Integrated Infrastructure Development Scheme came into existence in 1994, and the aim was to promote this small industry in all those areas which were left behind. The special funding mechanisms were there for northeastern states. State level agency was to implement the projects. So basically, this scheme was to develop basic infrastructures like telecommunication, water availability, power distribution network, raw material storage and marketing outlets, common service facilities, etc., at the designated point so that tiny and small village enterprises could be promoted. So, this was all about PSIC, and now coming to the next topic, present scenario statistics. Under this topic, we want to discuss the present scenario, present situation of the industry of Punjab. And to understand the present situation of the industry of Punjab, we will have to look at the various indicators because these are the only way to understand at which level our industry is lying. So, we are going to discuss various indicators and we will be starting from the share of industry in the GSVA of state, which is 24.70%, a little less than 25% in 2016 and 17. Q is quick. So, in the agriculture sector, just to compare, in that lecture we discussed that the share of agriculture in the state GSVA is a little more than 25%. Just to compare and just to remember. And the next indicator is that the growth rate. We can look at the table in 2016-17 Q 4.49 and is going to increase in 2017-18 4.52. This is just the estimate, and the percentage contribution, which is nearer to 25%, is going to decrease a little. But in the situation for the whole of the country, it is very different, and the growth rate is going to decrease much. Although the share in GDP, the change will also be there to the negative side, which is also there in case of Punjab. Here, please make a correction. It's not GSDP. It's GDP. And just to compare, this is the data from Economic Survey. GSVA, gross state value addition. We have already discussed in the previous lecture. Just to mention again, GSVA is gross state value addition is the indicator, is a term used for all the aggregate of all the inputs in a sector, but excluding taxes and subsidies. But in GDP or GSDP, these are included. And this GVA or GSVA is a better indicator if you want to gauge the economic activity in a particular sector like industry or a particular region like Punjab. I am confused here why GSVA and GSDP, the share is same. Either it might be because of some misrepresentation, but this is the actual figure I have taken from Economic Survey. Now coming to the next slide, which is we are having 1.72 lakh of registered MSM and large industries, micro, small, medium and large industries in 2017. The various industries which are there have been indicated like hosiery, bicycle parts, automobile, sewing machine parts, yarn and textile, hand tools, machine tools, sports goods and leather goods. The number 457 for large and medium, and the employment is for 2.57 lakh people. Not very important data. Similarly, we can look at the data small scale 1.6 lakh approximately. The employment is much more, that is 12 lakh people. But before going further, we must know what is the meaning of micro, what is the difference between micro, small, medium and large industries. Actually, there is one act which has been named as MSME Act 2006, which means Micro, Small, Medium Enterprises Act 2006. And in this act, we have differentiated enterprises into two categories. One for manufacturing, another for service. Under the manufacturing category, a micro enterprise is that where the expenditure on plant and machinery is up to 25 lakh rupees. And for small it is 25 to 5 crores, and for medium it's between 5 crore up to 10 crore rupees. Here the expenditure is on plant and machinery, and it doesn't include land and building. And an important understanding, it doesn't include land and building. And in case of service enterprises, micro enterprises are those where the expenditure on these things are is less than 10 lakh rupees, and small enterprise in service sector will be expenditure will be between 10 and 2 crore rupees, and in case of large it will be between 2 and 5 crore rupees. And again the building and land is not included. Important. Now coming to the next slide. National Sample Survey Organization used to present annual survey of industries, popularly known as per the numbers of ASI. The number of factories in Punjab have increased from 2013-14 to 14-15. Now in 14-15, as per ASI, 12,413 industries are there, factories are there, and the same increase can be seen in the fixed capital. The increase is 4.53%. The only thing concern is that the number of employees has declined by 3.24%. Although the numbers as such are not important, but we must understand and know that what are the things which are recorded in annual survey of industries. Number of factories, fixed capital, number of employees, net value added. Actually, ASI, annual survey of industries, which is recorded by National Sample Survey Organization, is recording all the registered manufacturing factories. It doesn't include the informal sector. It only includes formal sector. Also, it is this data is being recorded as per the earlier it was recorded as per the 1953 Act. Now the Act was amended. Now the new Act, Collection of Statistics Act 2008, is there, and under this Act the various statistics are being recorded, and this is being called as Annual Survey of Industries. So this was all about ASI, and the figures are with regard to Punjab. The only concern we have discussed is the number of employees have declined. Now coming to the next indicator, which is IIP, Index of Industrial Production. This is showing the base year is 2011-12. Respond when the collection the data is collected in Punjab, 373 industries responded, and according to their responses, this data was compiled. And as per the data, annual growth in IIP of selected manufacturing sector, it has shown a increasing growth, and as per for a whole of India also the growth rate has been positive. We must know what is IIP. IIP is actually an index. The number of this index shows that how the production is varying, whether the production is increasing, it is stable, or it is decreasing. If the number is more, then it means that the production activity in the economy is increasing. And in IIP, the 8 core sectors, they are constituting more than 40% of IIP. These 8 core sectors like steel, coal, petroleum, etc. These are the major chunk of IIP. When 373 industries responded, the results about Punjab IIP came out to be encouraging. Coming to the next slide, export performance of Punjab. It has also shown an increasing trend. The exports of the tune of 29,000, approximately 30,000 crore per memory, have been recorded in 2016 and 17. Coming to the next slide, Industrial and Business Development Policy 2017. To boost the industry, the state government came out with a new policy which has been named as Industrial and Business Development Policy 2017. The vision of the policy is that the industry should be promoted. The 8 core strategic pillars have been identified, which are infrastructure, power, micro, small and medium enterprises, very important sector for providing employment, ease of doing business, startup and entrepreneurship, skill development, again a very important topic. And this skill development mission has been launched, and for this startup and entrepreneurship, a new different policy has come up in 2017 itself. Fiscal and non-fiscal incentives, stakeholder engagement, supported by sector-specific strategy for growth. Some of the action has already started with regard to this policy. We will come to know about these things in the next segment, where we are going to discuss about the initiatives taken by the state government to promote the industries. Recently, state government has provided a subsidy to the industries. Electricity subsidy has been given. The per unit charge to the industries will be 5 rupees only. For this 1440 rupees crore rupees have been kept apart in this budget. Another initiative is one-stop clearance. For the one-stop clearance of proposals of new investment in the state, a new Investment Promotion Bureau has been established. Punjab Bureau of Investment Promotion, which is the new establishment, has got 572 proposals with an investment of rupees 38,436 crore rupees. 38,436 crore rupees. And recently, a new refinery, HPCL Mittal Energy Limited, has been established in Fullo Khadi district, Bathinda. Village is Fullo Khadi and district is Bathinda. Now coming to the next slide. Skill Development Mission has also been launched. The endeavor is to strengthen it. The convergence of various skill training schemes has been postulated. The state would strengthen industry and institute interaction, so the skill gap may be filled up. Another portal, Garg Rozgar portal, has been established. This is a portal where a job seeker may apply and the job employer will also apply. The job seeker on one hand and job employer on another hand, then on the same platform, both will be facilitated. In a way, industry will be promoted as well as the employment will be generated. Coming to the next initiative, in the field of infrastructure, government is trying to facilitate the industrial parks and industrial estate. For this purpose, the plan is that these will come under one agency, and the rules will also be simplified. Also, the state government is trying to establish Chandigarh, Ludhiana, Amritsar and Chandigarh, Hoshiarpur, Gurdaspur urban industrial corridors. State will also set up following sector-specific industrial parks. A very good initiative. Automobile manufacturing park, preferably alongside the dedicated freight corridor. Dedicated freight corridor, we all know. This is being established by the central government. Greenfield Light Engineering Park along the eastern dedicated freight corridor, as there are two dedicated freight corridors, eastern and western. Leather Apparel Park close to upcoming Footwear Design and Development Institute. Sports Goods Park at Jalandhar. Plastic parks at Bathinda and Ludhiana. Technical Textile Park, Aerospace and Defence Park. Advanced manufacturing parks, especially along the Amritsar-Kolkata Industrial Corridor. Food parks, Air Cargo Hub, New Cargo Export Center at Mohali, IT Park at Rajpura. So these are the initiatives which the government wants to take in the field of infrastructure development. Coming to the next slide, clusters. Government has identified 20 clusters under one central scheme, Government of India scheme, which is Micro and Small Enterprises Cluster Development Program, MSC CDP. Here, this is for creation of industrial infrastructure by creating common facility centers. The project cost is funded by Government of India 70 to 90%. Now, what is this micro and small enterprises cluster development program? As the name suggests, this program aims to develop the micro and small enterprises by considering them in a form of cluster. So basically, we want to develop the cluster with the ultimate aim to develop the micro and small enterprises. Now, what is a cluster? Cluster is a group of enterprises which are situated in an identifiable area, or as far as practical, in the contiguous areas. So these enterprises which are forming the cluster, they will be having some commonalities like the common technology they are using, common marketing facility marketing strategy they are using. So these are the common features. So ultimately this cluster is formed by enterprises and we want to develop it. And under this program, how we are going to develop the clusters is by basically two components are there. One is the establishment of CFCs, and second is by building up the infrastructure. And now, what is this CFC, Common Facility Center? These are the centers which will be having the tangible assets like common processing unit, common effluent treatment center, common design center, R&D center. So the basic aim behind establishment of CFC is that no single micro or this small unit is capable of establishing such facilities. So a cluster is formed and the common facility center will be there, which will be funded by the government of India. And now the second component, common infrastructure like road, banks, telecommunication, this raw material storage area. So like these infrastructure which may help the enterprise to develop are being established under this program. So these are the basic two components of this program by which we want to develop these enterprises. Well, and in this cluster approach, further we may discuss that the land is also being allotted, especially in the industrial focal points, and there is a if the land seeker applies, then according to the economic survey, the land is given in a transparent manner. Now, coming to the next initiative, startup and entrepreneurship. Nothing much has been mentioned. Targeted efforts will be done, and state would set up a dedicated organization. So these things have been mentioned here. Nothing specific. Now moving to the next initiative, fiscal and non-fiscal incentives. The government wants to provide fiscal and non-fiscal incentives in the form of so that to enhance the technical capability, financial capability, infrastructure, market capability of different MSMEs. The government has also realized the significance of anchor investors. It has also given a package of importance to the incentives for revival of sick industries, and also that the concern has been there regarding the border areas. So to facilitate the industrial development there in the extreme border zone, as the talk is there to provide the non-fiscal incentives. Now the term has come anchor investors. We must discuss it. And actually, the anchor investors are the institutional investors like mutual funds, uh, which for them particular quota is kept so that they may subscribe that quota. When the new share will come in the market for these anchor investor, as per the rules made by the SEBI, a particular quota is kept. Anchor investors cannot sell this share for first 30 days. So, but they get for sure certain number of shares. So this is the benefit to the anchor investor. So because now the economists consider that the anchor investors are very important for the development of market. So the Punjab our government is also taking steps to promote them. Now coming to the ease of doing business, the government wants to strengthen Invest Punjab initiative by setting up a business first portal, which will be a one point solution for the new investors in a way. Each business will be given a unique identification. If a business will be having a unique identification, then the multiple web portals and creating multiple credentials may be avoided. Thus, District Bureau of Enterprise will be set up. The government will re-engineer the 7 core departments so that they may become more friendly towards the industry. Now, coming to the budget 2018-19, there are certain provisions with regard to industry in the budget. We are going to discuss those provisions now. Till now, we have discussed the our state economic survey 2017 and 18. Now we are going to discuss the budget 2018-19 with regard to industry. We can see that for industry there is a very meager outlay, just less than 1% of the total budget outlay, around 137 crores, which is lesser than the previous year budget allocation of 209 crores. And in this budget speech, our finance minister discussed about electricity subsidy of 1440 crores to incentivize the industry. Industrial parks and industrial estates have also been discussed, and modern focal point and Naba will be set up under the integrated infrastructure development scheme. We have already discussed it. Now coming to there is a proposal that the development and modernization of infrastructure in the existing industrial estates or focal points at Khanna, Ludhiana Phase 8 and Patiala will be done, and the allocation of rupees 10 crore has already been proposed. Further in the budget, new industrial corridors, the 2 corridors, urban industrial corridors, Chandigarh, Ludhiana, Amritsar and Chandigarh, Hoshiarpur, Gurdaspur. Chandigarh, Hoshiarpur and Gurdaspur have been proposed. Also, the emphasis has been made to develop a marble market, transport nagar and automobile market at Mohali. For startups and entrepreneurship, there is no fund which has been allocated as such, but the talk is there. Ease of doing business, again the business first portal is to be established. Invest Punjab initiative has to be strengthened. These talks are there. Now with this, we have come to the last slide, our martyrs. You may see, you may read, you may salute. We all feel proud of our martyrs. So leaving you with this slide of Ed Shri A.S. Atbal, we are coming to an end of this lecture. If you are having any question, query, you want to discuss something with us, or you want us to discuss something, you are most welcome to comment below the video. Share if you like the video. Till the next lecture, take care. Take care of your health. Study hard. Enjoy hard. Best wishes and Jai Hind.